the velocity. $700mm, so fairly small wingspan. Should be a really fast bird. Get the box out the way. Got a body, a canopy, your wings, and tail. So this feels longer than 700mm. Oh, that's the length. This is 700mm. The wingspan is 1,000. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that correctly. My mistake, but once I looked at this, I was like, oh no, that's way bigger than 800mm, 700, 800. That's 1,000, so that makes more sense. You got your manual. It comes wrapped in a warning about voltages for servos. So this can't do high voltage at all. They're letting you know right off the top, 5.5 volts. The manual folded in half with that and the quick directions. This other stuff is just junk on my workbench, as usual. Really need to clean it up before I keep saying that. That's it. The first step is to put the tail together, so I'm gonna just get that. It screws, no big deal. As normal, we're gonna connect the tail sections together. There's already a carbon fiber rod placed in one of them. Flip the bird right side up. I could probably install this upside down if I wanted to, but it would be yellow. That doesn't seem proper because most of the time, oddly enough, the pretty part of a bird is usually the top, when all you normally see is the bottom. That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, just random rants within. Push the two pieces together, and there's two screw holes. The only screws that came with the kit, I'm gonna screw that in there. I'm not gonna waste your time watching me screw a screw in though. Oddly enough, I grabbed my Phillip, which is normally what everybody uses, but this is a hex head. I had to get my trusty multi-tool to get the right size fitting for this. So anyway, back to it, screwing these two screws in. Tail is on. Next step is to flip it over and put the wing on, which is usually everybody's next step, I would say, predictably. 4 screws, pass the wires through the hole. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this little tie that they have here. The only predictable hole that the wing wires could go through. A very small hole, I might add. I'm gonna flip that over, avoiding all the stuff I have in the way for the video, and flip it back. Get this kind of guided in. Pull my wires tight. I'm satisfied. Oh, there's a hole all the way through, right there, so you can make sure that your wires aren't pinched. Sometimes you're worried about your wires being pinched. So anyway, got that good. Take 4 more of the hex head wood screws to screw this in. The next step proceeds to show you how to put this little clip, came in a separate little bag, it was kind of didn't make sense because the picture doesn't show you very well the orientation of it. If you look really closely, it actually does, but to make it make more sense, they show it to you better on the second page with the hook going forth. And once you push these battery cables, the aileron cables, once you push those back, it almost kind of makes more sense to you. So we get those like that, and then this thing goes forward, all right, and then you screw it down, and then I probably should just screw it down, but then this is a little ledge that clips underneath there. So you push this, and I was like, how does this work? Because it doesn't lock in the front, but once you put that underneath there, it'll lock like that, and that's it. It's in. So let me get that screwed down. So 2 of the same screws, the only screws that came with the kit. So to make it make sense, there's a little area right underneath this piece of plastic and above this piece of foam, which allows those two little rounded pieces to go in and positively lock. So then when you lower that in, whoop, you lock in and you got a secure battery. I kind of love this design. It's very cool. I haven't really been a big, you know, I don't have any. I just got one aircraft that has this removable battery tray thingy, and I haven't even used it yet. Actually, I might have two, because I think the P-40 Warhawk has it. But anyway, something that I haven't flown yet. So, that's how you lock that battery in. So, I might as well just go ahead and put it in place. That is pretty cool. The next step leads you into putting the battery in and all of that jazz. We've kind of already figured that situation. But we got to collect the linkage up. So I'm going to show you that. And then it's the skid plate underneath. Now, the owner of this plane, I'm fairly confident, is not going to want this on. He tends to not want this type of thing on. So I'm going to maybe not put it on at all. Well, they give you a little outline of where it goes even, so that's cool. So you can line this up with that, and then that gives you the exact location of where they want. So cool. I guess there's no real front and back. It's wider in the front of this and it's narrow in the back, so I would assume that the wider part goes to the front, but I'd have to look and see how they have it in any of these illustrations. They don't show a very good picture of it in the illustration, so just kind of blacked out. Then they go into CG and stuff, so let's get this thing wired up and connected up. I'm gonna flip it back over, get the receiver. So I think I'm gonna, I got a kind of configuration set up in mind where I'm gonna take this receiver and maybe put it like this or like this. It's not a lot of room in here. I'm actually thinking about taking this out of the case because of the size restrictions in here, because these come out of the case and, you know, work very well without all the extra bulk. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let me get some Velcro started and see if I might leave it like this though. I'm about to connect the linkage, but I noticed that the foam hinge, it was super tight. I've been working it back and forth a little bit. So before I connect this up, I'm gonna work this for a few clicks. I noticed the surface right here, it's a little low, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that adjusted. So I like to just clip it off and then see which way I need to go. So to bring it up, I need to tighten it. Give it one good turn, maybe past the point of the turn. Could go one more. Go past it, loosen it up a bit. Alright, that looks good. Satisfied with my outcome of that. Get that push back on. Alright, so with this, it's gonna be a speed demon. And the owner is a speed demon. So basically what I did was I set this up with flaprons, so he may or may not fool with them at all. But anyway, it's a simple bird with a 6-channel receiver, so I figured we'd have our regular, then we'd have 2 sets of flaps that would still be able to be activated. It's weird the way that works when you have that set up, because one just ends up being flat and the other one goes down. So, you know, either way it's gonna fly like it would normally. You wouldn't notice that while it's in the air. It's just part of the characteristics of the flaprons. So I know it looks like this receiver's flashing, but to the naked eye it really isn't. But anyway, that's kind of the way it's all gonna be set up. I could leave it messy like this, but I'm gonna tidy it up a little bit. So I'm gonna just get me some Velcro cut to the size of this side of the receiver and the bottom. So at the conclusion of it all, I got my antennas in 2 different sections to give me the best radio. I got all my wires kind of tucked to one side neatly, and the rest of the excess tucked back in a hole. I'm not blocking the air vent because there's 2 air vents back here, and they're both able to flow pretty good, so I should get some air in. I don't see exactly how to get air in for the most part, but the air that does get in around the motor area, yeah, there's some gaps where air can get in, especially right here in the cone. So I guess that's gonna be the best rear. Oh, nope, there you go. Intakes right there. So this thing is definitely gonna be able to stay cool. Tuck this power cable out of the way. Yeah, that's gonna be neat. So let's see how this looks with the this is a 2200 4S. Just kind of sticks this in without caring much and push it down and snap it in. Let's get the radio turned on. And get my wire tucked as low as it'll go. Snap that in. And my flaps are activated. Alright, flaps up. I don't like this side. I'm gonna have to adjust this aileron a little. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sometimes when you look at this, it looks like it's off, and then I don't know. When you fly it, that's what really tells the difference. So at 1 click of flaps, you still got full movement of your aileron. With that dual flaps, you only get like real little. So have to see how that would fly. Maybe a test. Never done flap rolls before, so kind of cool to check out, I guess. Alright, that's the conclusion of that build. So I guess the next thing I'll be getting back to, and when I on the motor, oh my gosh, this thing is so smooth. Let's see, auto cut working, and it just feels so powerful. This is definitely gonna be a speed demon, and we'll see it soon. Alright, we got the velocity ready to fly.
Let's get on this menu. Yeah.
So I couldn't get the launch because I had to launch it, but we just made the first turn, so you didn't miss much. How does it feel, Mr. Paulie?
Feels good.
A little trimmer needed. Oh, I know. But I know you can't wait till you can. Ooh, what was that?
Ready?
I'm ready. We're gonna try full throttle on it.
Okay.
It's not as fast as some of the stuff you fly, but I would say it's pretty nice.
Flex.
Yeah, I can see the wings flexing. When you're pulling those G's in the turn, those wings fold up. Well, what do you think? Is it still pretty good?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Come off of it a little. Ants again?
Something.
Something's biting us, folks. He's not looking at the plane, he's looking at his leg. So if it looks erratic, that's why.
Hands off.
So you can get it trimmed out, and you can count on this bird to kind of fly straight. It's got big enough wings, so you'd think it would. But
hand free right there.
Hands free. Lost a little altitude, but other than that, perfect. That is beautiful. And it looks like the way it dipped down just now, that rudder has some serious authority, because I saw from the moment you hit it, that thing jerked back into place. Yeah, so this thing flies pretty good. I can see Mr. Paulie's learning some restraint, because he likes to fly full throttle for the entire flight, and he kind of backed off a few times, so it's a different flying style for him. But at least we didn't burn up the ASC on this one. So this thing works good if you're looking at buying one. I can't say we have any negatives about it. It's a cool little setup. We never tried the flapper-ons. Yeah, it was actually a windy day, so flapper-ons would have kind of got us off course and all that kind of stuff that they end up doing. But we do have it rigged with flapper-ons, so, you know, we're going to try it out on a day when it's not, yeah, there you go with your flapper-ons. So, try it out on a day when we can benefit from it better, because it's too windy today. It would definitely walk the plane away from us. So, good flight. Thanks for watching.